think I'm spooky?
Be afraid. Be very afraid. What have you done to his eyes?
Good evening and welcome to Soft and Spooky. For today's video, I thought it would be super fun to kick off a bunch of watch party videos where I am going through the latest season of American Horror Story titled Delicate. As a disclaimer, if you've never seen any of my watch party videos, I basically go through the entire movie, or in this case, episode, and I'm kind of commentating on it and giving my thoughts and theories. So just as a warning, there are going to be full spoilers throughout all of these videos. And without further ado, let's sink our teeth in. This video is going to be so hard. I am sick again. Okay, so episode 1, this one actually starts out in the future or like present day, but after watching the episode twice now, I kind of realized like it didn't really matter. Yes, we do find out a little bit more information, but having the scenes just in chronological order actually made a lot more sense. So we start out with the main character played by Emma Roberts, and she has this egg retrieval appointment for pregnancy with her Dr. Hill, and she actually ends up confusing the appointment time. Her husband Dexter calls her up on the phone telling her that she needs to get there as soon as possible, and she then proceeds to dilly-dally outside of her apartment building watching this mysterious lady. This stresses me out so much because if I am late for an appointment, all whimsy and curiosity leaps out of my body and all I know is speed. In regards to the mystery woman, I will say she does have some pretty dope boots. I like those boots. But she is standing over something, and our main character goes over there after she's left, and it is a dead newborn bird.
No, I don't know what I expected.
One thing I will give the show credit for, they did have a really nice example of show don't tell in this scene where our main character is walking up and she sees a billboard with her face on it, and it's for this movie called The Auteur. And basically from that we learn that her name is Anna Victoria Alcott. So Anna ends up going into the operating room to have her eggs harvested, and I thought it was really interesting. It didn't look like an operating stage, so it's not for observation, but the room that she's in to have this procedure done is fully glass paneled, and I felt this weird sense of vulnerability seeing that because it is such an invasive procedure and pretty much anybody walking by could see that. And maybe I'm over-interpreting it, but it kind of reflects a similar sentiment to how celebrities don't really get the luxury of privacy. And it does kind of tie in with some lines that are said later in this episode. So I thought it was very on stage and vulnerable feeling to see this glass paneled room for such a private procedure. Thankfully, we don't see too much of the procedure. It cuts to her waking up and we get the introduction of Dr. Hill. Dr. Hill is played by the phenomenal actor Dennis O'Hare. I love this man. He has been in 8 out of the 12 seasons of American Horror Story, and I think this man is an absolute treasure. So while Anna is coming out of the sedative, he's discussing with both of them about the procedure, and then he turns to Anna's husband Dexter and congratulates him, but doesn't really congratulate Anna. Anna finds this strange, but honestly, playing devil's advocate, I don't really think that's that weird, because if she is coming out of a sedative, she's not even really fully emotionally grasping what he's saying, so I could understand why he would turn to the husband rather, because he's fully, present. After she wakes up, they're heading towards the lobby of the building, and Anna is in a wheelchair. This is honestly kind of where I start to feel a little weird about Emma Roberts' performance during this season. a lot of her facial movements just seem a little bit over-exaggerated, or sometimes her line deliveries just don't feel 100% believable. And it's crazy because I've seen Emma in previous seasons playing very believable, albeit awful characters in the show, and it feels very natural. And it's just, this season, she just feels like almost uncomfortable. Dexter says that he's going to step outside and call for the Uber. And I'm not super familiar with using Uber myself very often, but I thought you just like request it on the app. Like you don't actually call for an Uber. And I mean, the only reason that you would call is like maybe because they're there already, but it sounded like he was setting one up. And I just thought that was weird. So while Anna is waiting there, we do see a woman in the waiting room that is reading a magazine with Anna on the cover. I tried looking up the cast for this episode, but I couldn't find this actress's name. But like the woman that is sitting in the waiting room, isn't that Sarah from the very first Mission Impossible movie? I feel like that's her. If not, she looks just like her. We do get introduced to a quirky little character named Mrs. Preacher, and basically it kind of seems like the staff already knows of her. Like she's a little quirky, but she does end up taking these like little sneak photos of Anna as she's leaving the office.
Miss Preacher, I got you on camera. You on candid camera now.
After the appointment, Anna and Dexter are having lunch together, and they have kind of like a back and forth on their plans for the baby. Oof, man. Like I was staring at Dexter's actor, and I was just like, why does this man have such a punchable face to me? Or like, why does he just irritate me? And then I realized this man portrayed Tucker Max in the movie I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell.
I'm talking to the turtles.
Are they telling you to kill that fat girl behind us? Because that's what they're telling me to do.
What? How can you be mad about that? Fat girls aren't real people.
Electric chair.
So yeah, I'm just trying to get past that. The writing for these two characters, I feel like it doesn't allow much room for chemistry, and it's actually a very similar complaint that I had for Rosemary's Baby. Even still kind of strange is that this story of this season was actually adapted from a book by Danielle Valentine called Delicate Condition. And I, for sure, see a lot of similarities between Rosemary's Baby and this season. So both of them have a young couple. They're living in New York. They also are trying to have a baby. And the husband is kind of struggling in his field. And the main character is questioning themselves or like second guessing themselves. But yeah, I mean, maybe it's the point to make them like kind of a bland married couple, but it doesn't really help to make me like invested in their story. So Anna's in the bathroom and she sees what looks like a gray hair, and she starts to like pull it, and she just continues to pull it. It's like never ending, like like those clown scarves. Seeing this, I do kind of like pick up on maybe a theme of nightmares, because a lot of people have nightmares about like their hair falling out or teeth falling out, and then like spiders, and I don't know, there's a lot of things that lead me to believe that there is something significant about like the nightmare theme. I did look it up, and I thought it was kind of interesting that apparently it is very common for pregnant women to experience a lot of nightmares.
Nightmare, 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 nightmare.
Introducing Kim Kardashian.
Tell the Daniels to suck my She's not missing a press day for a f***ing commercial shoot.
It's exhausting being better than everyone.
She plays Anna's no-nonsense, brash publicist Siobhan. This is a problem that I have had with American Horror Stories lines for a while now, where it's just, I feel like every season there's at least one character that is just vapid, money-hungry, mean-spirited, and I don't like characters like these. Let's go ahead and talk about Kim Kardashian. I know that a lot of people were angry that she was signed on to this season. I was willing to give it a chance just because I think a lot of people that weren't fans of Lady Gaga, when she signed on for American Horror Story Hotel, people were just like, she's a singer, you know, like she's not an actress, get her out of here. But she kind of rocked it out. Like she actually did a really good job that season. And so I was willing to give it a shot. I was wrong though. Listen, I don't think the script is doing her any favors.
You have a peculiar penchant for turning dreams into nightmares.
Like what is that line? Who says that? So basically Siobhan is Anna's new publicist, and she's like trying to work on deals for her to get onto Andy Cohen's talk show, and she has fans sending in stuff for Anna to sign. And one of the items is a doll from when Anna was like a teen, I guess, movie star, or it was like a show. And the fan wants her to sign on the actual doll's body.
Huh?
So Siobhan was able to get Anna this spot on Andy Cohen's talk show, but it's the same day as her embryo transfer for the pregnancy. And so she ends up telling Siobhan about how she's trying to get pregnant. And I think that this is honestly like the weakest scene of the entire episode, just because it is all exposition. Like it's just an exposition dump.
You're suddenly an A-list star after spending years on the CW applying sunscreen with a smoldering stare before you did a low-budget indie that we all thought would wind up in the bargain bin at Walmart. And your world-renowned fertility doctor just told you he's so optimistic about your prospects.
As a longtime viewer of American Horror Story, I'm well aware that the script writing is not like the most fine-tuned scripting that I've ever seen. But it just feels like this season is exceptionally lazy. I think with like a little bit of creativity, they definitely could have found a way to piecemeal feed us this information, and it wouldn't have felt just kind of like, all right, let's just check off everything that is going on in her life up to this moment. It feels lazy. I will admit, for trying to have a baby, Anna is just incredibly negative. Like immediately, because she hasn't received a phone call from the doctor, she assumes all of the embryos have died. This then turns the conversation to Dexter's previous wife, Adeline, and her accident.
You clam up every time I ask you about her.
No, I don't.
But you're doing it right now.
She was my wife, Anna, the love of my life. Until I met you.
Ooh, that pause was painful. This conversation then ends with Anna having a literal spider in her hair. For the pregnancy, Anna has been having to like take these little suppository things that I guess help. I don't actually know what they do, but it's supposed to help the pregnancy, and they have to be refrigerated. And we end up seeing that when they get back to the apartment, those were left out on the counter. And I'm not sure I like the way Dexter handled this.
No, I put them back in the fridge last night.
Then why are they on the counter?
Did Yvette come today?
She comes every other Friday.
No, I know when she comes. I'm just...
It's okay, babe. You're on a ton of meds.
Later on, they go to dinner with Dexter's friends named Talia and Theo. Gonna go ahead and say it, already not a fan of Talia. She just seems to have these little instances of like overpowering Anna. Like when Anna sits down, she offers wine to her and Anna says no, and then she basically just pours her wine anyway.
Oh, wine? Oh, no, thanks.
Another instance is when Talia is talking about Dexter. I guess he's like a gallery person, like an art gallery dealer or something, but he works with artists. And Anna asks who the artist that he's been working with is, and Talia just completely talks over her and ignores her, and then remarks how much this artist looks like Dexter's deceased wife, Adeline. Also, Dexter's art show has already almost sold out before it's even opened. So it's like, it's a little suspicious, don't you think? So Anna excuses herself from the dinner table and runs to the bathroom to call Siobhan. And I will say, I do really like this shot with Anna standing in the bathroom, and it's sort of this infinite amount of her in the mirrors. Looking into like symbolism, it's kind of like an extenuation of lineage. Like it's, you know, passing on her traits, her genes. And I don't know, I think it's interesting the use of mirrors in this season with the whole context of lineage and giving birth and doppelgangers, with the new artist looking like Dexter's former wife. So Talia comes into the bathroom to like apologize, but not really.
No, it's fine. It's not. I'm a massive cunt. I've really got to stop drinking so much. I say the stupidest things.
Oh man, nothing irritates me more than when somebody basically doesn't even really apologize. They just blame it on alcohol or a substance, or they like self-deprecate, and they don't actually like address how they made the other person feel. Like, it's just manipulation, baby. Like, that's not an apology. Anna takes the high road and, you know, keeps the peace, and she just basically compliments the lipstick that Talia is putting on. And then Talia turns around and insists that Anna take the lipstick. I don't care if we have known each other for years. I do not share lipstick, and I do not share eyeliner. It's not worth it, man. It's not sanitary. So both of them leave the bathroom, and Dex is actually on the phone with Dr. Hill, and he waves Anna over. I have to give Dennis O'Hare his flowers, because this man is so charismatic, even over the phone.
Well, as we discussed, Miss Alcott, the sooner we do the embryo transfer, the better his chances of implanting successfully.
I know, but...
But, all right, of course, it's your choice.
There's just like this natural cadence to his line delivery, and the intonations and kind of like stammers. It adds so much authenticity to it. And I love this actor so much. So later on in the evening, Anna decides to do the classic destructive behavior, and she decides to look up her husband's ex-wife, which is kind of interesting because I would think you would look up, I don't know, you would look up your husband's exes like long before you get married, but maybe it's just me. In looking up some information on Adeline, she ends up seeing like a bunch of hate comments, and a lot of them are from the same poster called Annihilate Anna. To make herself feel better, she ends up hopping over to her calendar to look at the appointment for her embryo transfer, and right before her eyes, she sees the appointment get changed. So somebody is hacking into her phone. She calls Dr. Hill the next day to see if they can reschedule the appointment to a different time. Afterwards, she goes to see Siobhan to get some of her outfits ready for the talk show, and basically tells Siobhan about how her phone was hacked. And Siobhan says that these things basically happen to famous people.
Courtney Cox had some freak break into her house and steal her lingerie 3 times. The cops did nothing. They think if a woman's in the public eye, she's looking to be harassed.
I'm not personally a fan of the Kardashians, but I will say, like, just thinking back to when Kim Kardashian was robbed at gunpoint in Paris, and talk show hosts made jokes about it. So it's kind of like, I don't know, kind of poor taste. And I just wonder if that line was like really satisfying for her to say. So Anna goes on to Andy Cohen's talk show, and dude, this scene is painful.
Andy, you are absolutely right. And I did kill someone for the part.
You did?
But I can't tell you who.
Tom Sandoval.
Oh, no, but I f***ed Tom Sandoval to get on this show. Oh, can I say that?
Yes.
I feel like Nick DeRamio on YouTube just like hit the nail on the head with this one.
It's like an SNL character. As a matter of fact, I did kill a person for this role, but I can't tell you who, although I've never felt more alive. And I'll give you a hint, it was not Chuck E. Cheese, although I did that pizza rat. Like, have you been in your dressing room sniffing nail polish remover to prepare for this scene?
During the interview, Anna hallucinates Mrs. Preacher in the audience and kind of just like zones out. And then we cut to after the interview, and Siobhan is just saying like, people are gonna love you, it's fine. But I just know that if this happened in real life, there would at least be like 6 videos on YouTube from conspiracy theorists saying that she's like a lizard person or a clone that's malfunctioning. Anna also discovers in the dressing room that there is another one of those dolls of her, but with the stomach X'd out. And like Siobhan is just like, oh my gosh, Andy is so funny. He's so weird. It's like, huh? If this is how Andy Cohen acts, like, stay away from me, little freak. After the interview, Anna gets home and she starts to hear like weird noises in the apartment. And then she also sees that the Post-it note that she wrote her new appointment time for was ripped in half. And so she calls up Dexter and finds out that he's actually at his show opening. She decides to go over there, but before she leaves, she puts on the lipstick that Talia gave her. Hello, it is a different day. I had to stop filming because I didn't feel well, and now I feel even worse. So Anna ends up going to this opening of the show, and amidst all of the artwork, there's this dark red painting. And instantly I was just like, ooh, I wonder if it's blood.
I used my own menstrual blood in this one.
Ew. We end up meeting the artist that Dexter's been working with, and her name is Sonia. And I think it's so funny, this like over dramatized version of artists that always seem to be in like movies and TV shows, where they're just like weird and edgy and aloof.
Hello?
Ongo Goblogian, the art collector.
It's also kind of funny because every time I've seen somebody's work that's like very dark and unsettling, you'll then see the artist and they're just like the cutest, most wholesome person in the world. There is this like unsettling moment where Sonia, when she sees that Anna's wearing the red lipstick, she says, "You never wear red." And it's just like, ooh. And so Anna's kind of getting a little like weirded out. And then without even saying hello or announcing himself, Dexter puts his hand on her shoulder and it makes her scream. I know that a lot of people have the reaction to this where it's like, all right, calm down. You're overreacting. But I personally am a very jumpy person. And so I could 100% see myself doing this. Because like, if I'm zeroed in on something, if something breaks that concentration, I'm going to yelp. It actually, the other day, I had the door open. And I'm just like standing by the couch on my phone. And then all of a sudden I look up and there's just a person at the front door. And I straight up screamed. Like, and then I went to the door and the guy was just like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I just like forgot to knock. But yeah, we're the Boy Scouts and we're doing like food collection." I was like, I literally just got scared of a Boy Scout. Anyway, Dexter just like really solidifies his ranking on my doo-doo list because he literally shushes her.
I'm fine.
You're not fine.
What? Okay, don't shh me.
You can't bring this in here. This is my night.
Nope. Do not like that. All right, I will see you. Marriage over. Goodbye. He even says that like this is his night, and it kind of solidified my own theory that he has some resentment towards Anna for being like the primary breadwinner. And it also kind of ties in the idea that maybe he would sell his firstborn so that he could oh. You ever have a coughing fit that makes you actually cry? Holy shit. Oh no. Help. I'm sorry for having a cough drop in my mouth, but I just almost threw up from coughing so hard. He also says that this is his night, which kind of validates my theory that he has a little bit of resentment towards Anna for being the primary breadwinner. The next day, my energy is already being brought up by seeing my favorite, Dr. Hill. I really enjoy the shot of him entering the room, and you see that he's like holding the picture of the embryos behind his back, but then further down the hallway you can see the outline of someone else in a different room, and it kind of adds this feeling of like you're never really alone. Like there's somebody everywhere. Also, I love O'Hare's line delivery here. It's so good.
You excited? Okay.
So there is an embryo that is developing well, and despite the tension between Dexter and Anna from the previous night, she reaches her hand up and he holds her hand. And then Dr. Hill's hand reaches on her other shoulder from the opposite direction. I do feel like this is kind of a missed opportunity in subtle imagery. If we were going for that like devil baby, like the baby was sold for the devil, because if you think about the most common imagery of Baphomet, it's in the position of as above, so below. And I think that if Anna had had her hand up above holding her husband's hand, and then her hand down by her waist holding Dr. Hill's, that could kind of sort of do this similar body positioning, and it would tie in this kind of idea of life on earth mirrors life down below. And I feel like that would tie in really nicely with how frequently we've seen mirrors and reflections in this episode, and with the idea of like doppelgangers, because this new artist looks just like Dexter's ex-wife. But yeah, ultimately they didn't do that. So just thought it would have been cool. After the embryo transfer, she's kind of like waking up, she talks to Dexter, and then she goes back to sleep, and she's all snuggled up in bed as a hand wraps around her waist and holds her belly. She realizes that it's not Dexter, and then this cloaked figure jumps out of bed and kind of like stares at her. In the very first scene that I skipped over in the beginning of the video, they did have, you know, her looking at her hands covered in what you think is blood, but it's actually the smeared lipstick that Talia gave her. After the hooded figure leaves the apartment building and she tries calling the police, she gets a notification on her phone that a new appointment was added to her calendar. When she opens it up, it says to look in the mirror, and then on her mirror it says, "Don't do it, Anna." All right, so that is pretty much it for the very first episode of American Horror Story Delicate. I definitely have my criticisms. I still can't shake the feeling that I just get like this half-assed attempt from this episode. To be transparent though, I have actually watched all 5 episodes so far, and I do think the first 2 episodes I was kind of like, I'm a little bit bored. But I think it's by the 3rd episode that I really started to like get into the season. So yeah, I'm interested to see your thoughts on this episode, and keep your eyes peeled because I'm going to be going through the next 4 episodes. If you enjoyed this video or you just wanted to show some support, definitely leave this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. I really can't thank you all enough for those that have subscribed. I'm flabbergasted at how many subscribers I've amassed in just such a short time, and I genuinely appreciate the support, and it keeps me going. Even when I feel sick, I'm like excited to make videos for you all, so I hope you stick around. And with that, I will see you all in the next video. Don't forget to stay soft and spooky. Bye!